Hi, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Andrea.
And let's have a look in our van. There's also another creature living in our van. This is Nova. She's a 4-month-old rescue puppy from a center or a foster home in Barcelona. We've only had her for 6 days now, but she's really enjoying van life. She's gotten to see like 4 beaches already, and she is in the middle of teething. So she's very bitey and trying to eat our entire van from the inside out. So down here we have some shoe storage, more storage for tote bags and other stuff. We have some more storage here for our laptops, little custom made bag thingy. Up here we have our long-term storage and camera equipment, a bunch of towels and winter clothes for when we need them. Workspace, so this is where I sit at my computer. I usually spend pretty much all of my day here, just sitting here and working. And then this is multifunctional. So when we need to go to the bathroom, we take these off, and then our toilet is in here. This is the Airhead composting toilet. It fits perfectly in our van, and we have had 0 issues with it during our time in the van. Andrea does food photography, so this is
all of my backgrounds.
Yeah, backgrounds for.
Yeah.
Let's get these out. These are just backgrounds for food photography, so they're different. Yeah, just different backgrounds, like a little bit of wood and some
stone.
Yeah, and it fits pretty snugly in here.
Yeah, because that was an issue.
Yeah.
To fit them inside the van.
Yeah.
So this was a perfect space for them.
Yeah. This is the outlet for our diesel heater. It is a Chinese Webasto copy. You can get them off of Amazon pretty cheap. And the control for the heater is over here. So in here we have our closet area. We have toothbrushes up here, other toiletries, more just toiletry stuff, a bunch of blindfolds if it gets too light out, if you're like at a parking lot. All the necessities that you need. And then this is our closet space. So this is my side, all the clothes that I have, and this is Andrea's side. And of course we also have more clothes in the long-term storage. Up here is our little tech area. So we can we store our cameras and stuff in here. Oh. Hey baby, ska du?
Jag kan ta den här.
So up here is our tech cabinet. We store all our camera equipment and gimbals, microphones, everything up in here. We also have 2 gauges for our water tanks, one for our gray water and one for our fresh water. And we also have a button that we can empty our fresh water with.
Gray water.
No, yeah. We also have a button that we can empty our gray water with. We have this little storage cabinet with like painkillers and extra nutritional stuff, chips, napkins. Everything is just stuffed in here.
Yeah, like a trash drawer.
Yeah, like a trash drawer.
Kind of.
Kind of. So here we have our favorite thing in the van. It is our pull-out pantry. So we have everything in here from baking and cooking, pasta, everything is in here.
All dry foods.
Yeah, all the dry foods. And we just love this little thing. And then for cooking, we have the Thetford Triplex. So we have 3 burners and also a gas oven, which works surprisingly well. It's really good for frozen pizzas and heating up food and yeah, everything you do with a normal oven. And then down here we have our pots and pans drawer, which is always chaos. It's always a puzzle to get everything to fit. Then over here we have a little drawer for kitchen utensils and spatulas and all that kind of stuff. Also a little bit of a puzzle to get everything to fit in there. And then down here we have our small pantry. So here we have a little more liquids and a little bit of spices, soy sauce, a bunch of other cooking stuff. Then on this wall we have some storage for more spices, some tea, we actually have real glasses, which we really wanted to have in our van, and they haven't broken yet. We have this little thing which keeps some vinegar, oil, salt and pepper, and it's actually just velcroed onto the wall, so we never have to move it anywhere. It just sits there. So down here we have our fridge full of a bunch of food and alcohol. We also have a freeze box that is completely frozen over at the moment, so can't open that. It is a 90-liter compressor fridge, 12 volts. I don't think it has a brand. It's like an off-brand thing from Sweden. Continuing in the kitchen, here we have our sink. It is a 40 by 40 sink from probably Amazon or Vida XL. And a tap that's both normal tap and one of those guys. And then we have a drinking water faucet that is filtered, so we can drink all the water in Spain, where we are now. We also have a little pump for dish soap, yeah. Under the sink, just like a normal house, we have our trash and also more storage. We have our entire water system is under here. We have a sea flow pump. We also have a soda stream for some reason that we never use. We also have a actual 230 water heater that we also never use. And this is our filter for the clean water. And then this just goes down to the gray water tank underneath the car. Bunch of protein powders, bunch of cleaning supplies. Yeah, we really feel that we made the most of this space because we just put so much stuff in there and it never gets full. So in here, Andrea has her painting supplies, so and also macrame supplies. Yeah, so there's just like a bunch of tape and tiny ropes, a bunch of books, and yeah, just a bunch of random stuff. Here we have our kind of kitchen drawers, so knives, cutlery, and all of that. Here we have our plates, also not that organized. We also have some real plates. We had to have those. And then in the bottom one, we have more kind of bigger bowls, smaller bowls, and our teacups. We also have a mixer that we also pretty much never use, but it's good to have.
I use it.
Okay, Andrea uses it. Used it sometimes at least. And so down here we have our little board game storage. We brought a lot of board games with us in the van. We don't really play that much at the moment, but we do play sometimes. We have a lot of small games that fit in a van that don't take up too much space when they are in use or in storage. And under the bed, we actually have even more storage that goes pretty much all the way to the back. And this is actually where we keep our laundry. So we have it hidden away and don't have to see it all of the time. We had an elevator bed before, and it was on these rollers. So there was a rope going from there, and then there was a motor down in that corner, and there was a bed going up into the roof, and then what you're sitting on now was the sofa. But we didn't really like that. We had it for a few months, a few months.
Yeah, a few months.
We had it for a few months, didn't really like it, so we decided to just take out the elevator bed and put in a bed like this. The reason why we didn't do that in the beginning is because I cannot sleep. We have to sleep diagonally because the van is not wide enough. It's not 2 meters. So the bed is actually cut off. We cut it off with a bread knife. So we sleep diagonally now. My neck hurts, and Andrea
sleep perfectly.
Yeah, so you sleep perfectly.
So what was the reason you didn't like it?
There was a lot of work with it because every time we needed to drive somewhere, we had to take the bed down, secure it with pillows, and we also had to clear the entire countertops, needed to be clear of everything. So we couldn't really use the space.
Yeah, we couldn't have things on the walls.
Yeah, no things on the walls. And then the bed went to like here. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, okay, like here. Yeah, so we were walking like this under the bed, and then we sat in the sofa, and then the sofa was uncomfortable because the sofa couldn't be high enough. So everything was just a little...
It felt really cramped in here.
Yeah, it felt really cramped.
Like it felt so small when you couldn't see all the way back.
Yeah, because you can.
It was like a wall here
Yeah.
from the bed.
Yeah, so you can see. Probably you couldn't really see the windows. You couldn't really see the back windows. We didn't really have access to our roof.
Sunroof.
Our sunroof.
So it was much darker in here.
Yeah, it was really dark and just a pain in the ass to get that working. So this is our bed. It's a little shorter than 2 meters because the van is not 2 meters wide. So we have to sleep like this. So I have my feet over here and then I have my head. Obviously I have a pillow, but then I have my head over there. And sometimes I can't really stretch out because Andrea apparently also needs space in the bed for some reason. I don't know. And now that we have the dog too, she takes up a lot of space. But it's really comfy. We also have some book storage over here with the books that we are currently reading. So I'm reading this one. I think Andrea's reading that one. We also used to keep some other stuff over there, just stuff that we need to get to the bed. Then we have a lot of fairy lights, which is really cozy and nice. We have fairy lights going all the way around. Then in the roof here, we have a sunroof that we can actually open. So we get direct sunlight into the bed, which is really nice. Oh wow, that's really windy actually. Which is really nice in the morning. So in the morning, we can just open this up and we have the morning sun right in our faces.
It's also a fly screen.
Oh yeah, there's also a fly screen. And then this window is also really nice. It gives us a lot of light into the van and we can also open it for some extra ventilation. In the roof here we have a max air fan, which we really love. It works really well with the sunroof that we have in the back, so it pulls air through the entire van. And it also sits right over the, well, almost right over the stove. So it pulls all the steam and everything from the food right off the van. And we don't have to set off the fire alarm. It's also covered, so the max air fan, you can use it when it's raining. You can also have it open when you're driving if you want to do that. It's all possible with the max air fan. So in the back here we have even more storage. We have these like plastic boxes from IKEA, I think. They hold a bunch of stuff. So we have workout gear, we have a bunch of extra tools if we need to fix something in the van. And behind all of these boxes, we have our electrical system. We have 300 amp hours of lithium batteries. We only bought the third one before we came here to Spain. Before we only had 200 and we are still struggling a little bit with power. We have a 2000 watt Renogy inverter. Which works really well for us. In here somewhere we also have a Renogy DC-DC charger, which is 40 amps I think, and a Renogy MPPT, 60 amp. And on the roof we have 800 watts of solar. In this corner we have a bunch of extra stuff, bathing shoes, some charcoal to make fires. We have some foodstuffs in the back. It's just extra stuff. Underneath our batteries over here though, we have our emptying for our fresh water. If we ever need to empty, we can just flip this one thing and all the fresh water will just come out. Underneath the batteries, we also have a little cool thing. Since we van life in Sweden for a while, this is a heating mat, so our batteries wouldn't drop below 0, which worked really well in the winter. So to fill our water tank, we have this little fill hose here. It's supposed to be better connected than just this. It was before we remodeled the van, but this just goes to our 125 liter water tank, which is custom made to sit like an L around our wheelhouse on the left. On this side, underneath the van, we have our grey water tank. And as you saw before, we have a button and an electric valve, so we can empty it from the inside.
So we started this lifestyle because I want to be more free. And before COVID hit, I used to travel a lot, like at least a few times a year. And then COVID hit and we lost our jobs and we couldn't travel. So I was kind of feeling stuck and bored and needed something new. So I asked Jacob if he wanted to do van life.
Yeah, and it sounded like a good idea, and it was something to do. It was new, something to build, was really nice. And now that we're actually doing it, we are very happy.
We downsized from 140 square meters to 8 square meters.
Yeah.
And it's working surprisingly good.
Yeah, like living in a van this tiny, it doesn't feel as small as an apartment would. Like you don't look at it at the same way. Like if you were looking at an apartment, which is really small, then it gets really cramped and suffocated. But living in a van, you feel much more free, and like you always have access to just nature and new environments, and you can go wherever you want, so you feel more free. We're more green when we live in a van than we are like living in a city or something like that. Like, of course, it's the diesel from driving the car that's bad for the environment, and everyone knows that, but
we own less stuff.
yeah, we own much less stuff.
We reuse much more stuff.
Yeah, reuse and fix things instead of just buying new stuff.
And we've started to use more like biodegradable products.
Yeah.
Instead of just plastic and other stuff that isn't that good.
Yeah, like glass jars, much better than plastic, and stuff like that.
The design was inspired by Instagram and other vans, mostly. Like we watched a lot of YouTube videos and scrolled Instagram for way too long to find what would be good for us.
Like looked at all the other ones.
We took small pieces from other vans and thought that this might work and this might work. And then put it together and made something
our own
from it.
And then the building process, Andrea did all the designing and all of that stuff.
All the planning.
And then I did most of the cutting of the wood.
I gave him a measurement to do this, and then do this, and then do this.
So Andrea did the planning, I did the cutting, and
we did the building together.
Yeah.
So one of the must-haves for me is this stove, which is a 3-burner stove, and the oven. Both runs on gas, and they cook really well. They work like a normal stove, pretty much. And it's a must-have for me because I work as a recipe creator, so I need to be able to cook. And know that people can cook the way I do, so I can't use like the Omnia oven. I need this real oven and stove. Another must-have for me is the fixed bed. Because I don't want to have to make the bed every evening, and I want to be able to take a nap in the day, or just like climb up here and sit and work, which I do all the time. The fixed bed is really a must for me.
My 2 must-haves in our van is definitely our pull-out pantry and this little workplace seating area. If you want to do van life, you should definitely do it because it's worth it. It's very fun, it's very free. Like it can be a lot to think about in the beginning, but once you get into it, it's like you don't need all your stuff. You don't need all your stuff, and you don't need that big apartment. It's a very cozy and nice lifestyle to have.
And you don't have to have everything figured out before you start.
No,
you can figure it out along the way.
Yeah,
you don't have to have a remote job.
No.
You can still work at your old job and then figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything. If you have the money, you can hire people to do the van for you.
Yeah.
Or certain parts of it.
Yeah, otherwise you can just watch tutorials. Everything is on YouTube. Like people have made from part 1 to part 1 million of how to build a van. Like you can find it on YouTube if you really want to do it. We are looking to do van life for as long as we would like, I guess would be the correct answer. We don't really have a set date that we're only doing van life for exactly 2 years.
But right now the plan is to travel the south of Europe.
So,
until summer, and then spend the summers in Sweden when it's warm there. And then go back south again when it gets colder. And then continue like that.
And then continue like that for as long as we want to. thanks for checking out our van. We are Jacob and Andrea, and you can find us on Instagram at Andrea Hansson
Underscore.
Andrea Hansson _. You can find us on YouTube, Jacob and Andy Vanlife couple. And if you see us out on the road, you can always come by and say hello.
Bye.
Bye.